Hey, Jason Palliser here with the No Flipping Excuses channel. Today we're going to talk about how to negotiate a subject to deal with a property owner. And before we get into that, you need to kind of understand some things. So I want to lay the foundation for you. And so what I mean by that is simply this. Who's a candidate for that, right? It could be somebody that has a property that doesn't have a lot of equity, but they have some pressure to sell. So we start with, hey, the homeowner has to have some level of motivation. And when you get into negotiating a deal, you have to establish with them that there are different ways to do a real estate transaction. So part of you getting through a negotiation is actually educating the homeowner. From this standpoint, most homeowners have no clue when an investor comes to them, no clue what you're talking about. If you just bring up something besides just a traditional, here's my offer for the house, and does this work for you? Take it or leave it. And it's a straightforward real estate transaction. But in today's marketplace, and I would just simply say this, in today's marketplace where there's pressure because of interest rates going up, inflation, I could go on and on and on and on, but there's market pressure for homeowners and they need to sell. And with houses on the market longer and longer and longer and values starting to go down, negotiating a subject to with a homeowner is a way to close deals that other people can't close. So how do we get to that point with a homeowner? Here's what we do. We simply say, hey, there are other ways that we could maybe come to a solution and be of benefit to you here. Meaning, and they'll say, okay, well, what do you mean by just doing a straight purchase? And again, it's your job to educate them. And you simply say, hey, look, well, we help homeowners in multiple different ways. One of the ways that we do that is that if you're open to doing terms for your property, and they're probably going to get inquisitive. They're probably, I don't understand what you mean. So you just simply need to be slow and methodical with them. Okay, so what that simply means is this, and that's when you start to get into it, right? And so what you say is, hey, look, instead of me just doing a regular purchase, I can buy the house if you're open to it on terms, meaning you and I can come to an agreement on the property and I'll simply take over the payments. So if you're interested in that, then I would love to explore that option with you. Meaning this, we can agree to, based upon the situation, and again, you find out what their situation is, their motivation may not be to sell the house. It's just that they need money for X, Y, Z, and you can come in and solve that problem without having to full-fledged buy the property. So just as an example here, we can do, let's just say the homeowner needs 25 grand. They got to pay off a car that they're severely behind on. They had some medical bills and they just simply need to move on from the property because they've had some financial what have you going on that they simply can't afford it anymore. So if you could just relieve the pressure of their house payment and also get them the capital to do what they need to do, then they may be open to doing that. So what you need to do is simply listen to what they need. It's not always just selling the house. Listen to what they need, and you may be able to solve it with a small amount of money. And again, sometimes you don't even need to come up with the money, but a small amount of money and just simply take over the payments. Now, why would you do that? Okay. So, the homeowner's back. Okay. Well, tell me more about this. Well, here's how it would work. I will agree to give you a certain amount of cash, and I will simply take over the payments of your property so that you no longer have to worry about that anymore. Now, one of the things that you need to make them feel comfortable about is that, hey, you'll take over the payments and make the payments every single calendar month. So what you're going to want to do is say, I just need to know what bank you're making your payments to. And we will structure it to where it's a direct withdrawal straight out of our account to start making that payments, and I'll take over the burden of the property. And so what that does for them, get inside the mind of the homeowner, right? They may know, gosh, this house needs a little bit of work, and they're really willing to take over the payments. That's where you reassure them and say, hey, look, based upon everything that we talked about, based upon the property condition, we will handle all of that. And it's as simple as taking over the payments on the property. A lot of times they may be behind on payments. Hey, look, I know you're going to end up with a foreclosure. We don't want to see that happen. Instead of us just regular doing a regular contract and buying the property, why don't we just take over the payments for you and catch up the payments? So you may pay $5,000 in back payments, agree to do that. So that saves them from foreclosure. So now you've just saved them from several years of not being able to get a loan down the road on a new property. So that's of great benefit to them. And you take over the payments. Obviously, if they could make the payments, they wouldn't be in this situation. So you're solving a real issue for them, and you're also allowing them to move on. So what that simply means is this, is that all you need to do is show them by taking over the payments, you can solve whatever problems are facing them and staring them in the face. And when you do that, the beauty of this and the benefit is that you've relieved their financial pressure. And now on your end, because it's got to be a win-win, right? You don't close transactions unless it's a win-win. So you simply say, hey, I'll take on all the burden of the property. I'll take on the burden of the payment. And what you do is you want to negotiate. You want to negotiate to where you'll take it over, but you also want to be. So if you're starting to solve problems for them, if you give them any sort of cash up front, okay, and you catch up back payments, you wouldn't do that and then without anything agreement-wise protecting you, because if you did that, then they may say, hey, thanks for paying my $5,000 in back payments, or thanks for giving me $25,000 cash. I've decided not to do the transaction. So what do you tell them in the course of making them feel comfortable and negotiate? You simply do this. You simply say, hey, I need to have some level of protection on my end if I'm going to catch up these payments or give you some sort of cash. And the way we typically do that is that we will put a place marker on title, so that you're on title in some fashion to the property because you've done something to where you've put money out of your pocket as an investor. If a homeowner is open to doing terms with you and just taking it over subject to, right? Subject to their existing mortgage. That's what it means. Now they understand that also you need a level of protection. And once you've come to an agreement with them on terms and made them feel comfortable about the process, that's when you would simply go into the paperwork side of things. You agree to a price. It could be, hey, I'm gonna buy this subject to, and I promise to pay you off 5 years from now, or whatever it is. You're buying yourself time. So you can do a subject to and also turn it into a contract with the option to buy. So a subject to and also adding a lease option to it. But there's multiple ways that you can do this. The big thing for me is this. I always want to find a way to make them feel comfortable to where I can end up being on title. I've been in banking for 27 years. I know if you've listened to anything as far as subject to goes, the big thing is, well, if you go on title, can't the bank invoke their due on sale clause because title is transferred? That is true. That could happen. But I can tell you, as you're watching this right now, in 27 years, okay, in 27 years of me doing banking, I've only had one person with a loan have the bank call their note due a due on sale. And it's because they transferred the title from their personal name into their company name. And the bank somehow found out about that and just simply asked them to switch it back. They didn't even really force the issue with the due on sale. So it could happen, highly unlikely. But having said that, that is one way that you can protect yourself. So you need to do something to put a place marker on title. It could be that you just simply place a lien on title for the amount of money maybe that you gave them up front that's behind their first mortgage. The only way you would do that, again, we're talking about negotiating with the homeowner. Hey, look, I'll do this, but I also need a place marker on title. I like to use the word place marker because it's soft and easy. Okay, so I usually use, hey, if it's okay with you, since we're going to solve your issue here, I simply need to put a place marker on title so that I feel comfortable knowing that I can get paid back. And most of the time when you go back and forth with the homeowner, make them understand that you'll take over the payments and you'll start paying the bank directly, or however you want to negotiate it with them, that you have some level of protection on the back end. The big key here is to solve their problem and make them feel comfortable. Let them know, reassure them that the payments are going to be made. A lot of times what I do in the course of negotiations is like, hey, look, I can show you that I have capital in the bank here. I have no issue making the payment. That usually puts them at ease. But now you can solve the problem without them having to sell. So again, a lot of times they don't want to sell just because they know it needs work and they're embarrassed about the situation they're in, and they'd have to talk to a realtor. Then a realtor's going to make them sign all these papers that disclose this, disclose that, tell me about the sump pump, blah, 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 all this red tape, got to have showings, all this other good stuff. And so what I simply need you to know and understand, you can come in with an easy solution that doesn't even involve them having to go to a title company with a regular old closing. You can literally take over their payments on the property, solve whatever issues in front of them, reassure them in any way, fashion, or form that you can, just to make sure that they know that you're going to make the payments. And then you need to put a place marker in some fashion on title to make sure that you're protected. I just simply like to do a quick claim and go straight on title. Some people don't like to do that because they're worried about title is transferred and there's going to be a due on sale clause. Again, in 27 years, I've seen it happen one time. Could happen, more than likely not. But at the very least, I will add a lien on title for any amount of capital that I've given them, so that I know that I'm protected, because then I can, and one little tip for you is that I also make that place marker on title that I put on there, that lien on title. I make it come due within 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Okay. Just because it comes due doesn't mean that I need to go back and force the issue and start the process of getting my money back, because I could foreclose on it if I'm on title, right? But I make it come due, so at any time I could do that if I needed to. And so that's just a way that I will talk to a homeowner, make them feel comfortable, solve their problems, and simply protect myself on the back end. That's kind of how I just have a nice, easy conversation with them. And again, I tell them that it needs to be protected. I use phrases like, we're just going to put a place marker on title because it's soft and easy. That's the way that you broach the subject with the homeowner, and just say, hey, if you'd like, we could buy the property on terms, and then explain how that would work, explain how it benefits them, protect yourself on the back end, and now you've got a property that you took control of without having to come up with a bunch of cash to buy it. That's the way to do it, folks. And by the way, when you do that, a huge benefit on your end is that if today's rates are 7 or 8% on an investment property, but you took over a homeowner's 3% interest rate, do you see the benefit there? You could take over this property and cash flow it. You could do tons of different stuff. So this is what I want you to do. Watch this a couple times. And as always, just give us a like, give us a comment, and also subscribe to our channel, because we got more good stuff coming. See you soon, folks. Bye. Hey, Jason Palliser here from the No Flipping Excuses channel. So just for being on our channel, here's what we're going to do. Go to www.theflippingbook.com, where we're going to break down for you and give you for $7. If you go to Amazon, it's $24.95. You're going to save $17 and get an instant download of our wholesaling book, where we break down how to get leads and deals under contract that other investors don't even know about, and get smoking hot deals on the back end, and then how we run circles around our competition and how you can close your first deal or start stacking on top of that. So you just need to go to theflippingbook.com, and we put it together for you, and it's our gift to you for $7, not $24.95, just for being on our channel. So check it out.